Good afternoon, everybody. PA Figs here. It is day 74 of our lockdown. And yes, I still need a haircut. But more importantly, we have had beautiful weather for this last week. It has been 80, 84 degrees most days. A little bit dry, but the figs and the plants are loving it. Let me go ahead and show you a few of these here. So you can see our petunias and some of the celosias, and everything that we've been planting all spring long has really taken off. Even our tomatoes are growing really well now. Everything's taken off. The fig trees, some of them are hit or miss, to be honest. I think they have taken a few days to really get moving here, but you can see all the new growth that's coming out now. So they are definitely ready for the new season. The girls are loving it. I think they're a little hot, but they'll get used to it. And planted them a little bit of a lettuce bed over here, and that was planted only about a week ago, maybe a little less than a week ago, and it really took off. So everything is absolutely loving the heat right now. And tomatoes, it's amazing how Mother Nature plays a little bit of catch up. Looking at the fig trees, I'd say we're still a good probably 3 to 4 weeks at least behind an average season. So we do have to worry about late ripening figs in particular. Here is my new Coleodon ramata. You can see that is putting out new growth. So thank you again, Amy. And I'm trying to think of what fig trees to show you. There's not much to show yet other than the new growth starting. I haven't seen any figs forming yet. I can show you the one fig that I had in the greenhouse that had brabas on it. Not this one. This is Black Madeira. It's looking pretty good. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves on it, so I probably could start to pinch now. I will likely wait one more week just due to the late start of the trees. But you can see here are the brabas on the white Madeira and some of the main crop figs. All of them got a little bit sunburned, so it may affect their production a little bit, but they should be for the most part okay. There may just be a slightly hard spot in the fig itself, but yeah, I should get some brabas and some main figs off of this one for sure. They're growing nice and strong. Other than that, everything is putting on a lot of growth right now, but not much in terms of figs. Oh, I did want to show the figs that got hit by the freeze. You can see they are starting to come back finally. So it's going to be a bit. I might get some figs, like this Improved Celeste is a pretty quick ripener, so I may still get figs off of it. But then you have figs like this down here, this Preto for instance. It has some buds coming back, but it got hit pretty hard. Most of this growth is not doing too well. The tips are definitely dead, so I need to come out and chop those off. And you can see a lot of them are coming back to life, mostly from the bottom. This is a green Aschia. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's still flexible, so if I do the thumbnail test, it'll probably have some green. Yeah, it's got some green there. So it's still alive, but the upper branches are taking a little bit longer to come out of dormancy. And I think part of it is they have to form new branches. They froze, it wasn't just a frost where the leaves got injured. They froze. So all these tips died. So they have to form new branches as opposed to continuing the growth that there was. And this was the one that surprised me the most. So the Panache, I've had a lot of problems with it dying back to the ground each winter. And this one seems to have gotten hit much harder than the rest. You can see that's not alive at all. And it goes most of the way down like that. All the branches. it seems to be extremely impacted by that freeze that we had. And I'm not a big believer that one fig tree is more cold tolerant than another, but this one might make me change my mind because it didn't handle that frost at all. Or not frost, I'm sorry, freeze at all. But yeah, all the ones that got hit by that freeze are really struggling. And I think it's going to be a tough season for them, to say the least. So we'll keep an eye on them. We'll see what happens. But there's definitely a part of this orchard that's not coming back. Let's see, this guy's looking pretty good. It won't be long now before they start putting out figs. And you know, even that right there might be a fig starting to form. So it's going to be pretty quick on the rebound. Actually, here's some figs forming right here in this guy. Let's see if I can actually zoom in on them and show you. There's a little fig there, little fig there. What is this guy? Oh, okay, so this is the Black Madeira that I gave just like 3 or 4 week head start, I think, in the greenhouse. And that's really my preferred way to do it, because any longer than that, hardening them off becomes extremely difficult. But that's a very positive sign there to see that. But I don't see many of the other trees. Let's see, this one was in the greenhouse. Oh, and it's starting too. I take it back. I feel like these just popped out today. So you can see figs forming here too on this Coleodon. I think this is a Coleodon grisae, yep. And again, this had a few weeks in the greenhouse. So everything in the greenhouse is got a head start and is starting to put out figs, while the ones in the garage are behind. Not much behind the other ones that were in the greenhouse, but probably that, 2 to 3 weeks. So overall, things are going well. We planted some flowers that we had in the greenhouse. There's not much left in the greenhouse. I'll show you over here. Here is that Parajal Ramada here. New growth coming. I did keep a couple of, these are those 2 Italian cuttings that I grew out. I kept 2 just to sort of play with through the year. And I have a Violet de Bordeaux that I wanted to grow in here. And I just want to see how the figs do in here, if I can keep it cool enough. And this is my Bordeaux Negro Ramada that is just loaded with figs. I put it by the door hoping that it would semi-harden off on its own before I bring it out. The Bordeaux Negro Ramadas did not do that great in the garage over the winter. So I want to have one tree that I keep in the greenhouse. But I'm afraid if I up-pot it and it gets too big, it's going to be too tough to keep in here. So I have to figure out what to do with that. And my Glacier tomatoes, looks like I'm about to have them start ripening. That'll be the first tomatoes here in the greenhouse, this year at least. And that's about it. We do have a whole bunch of white petunias that we have to figure out what to do with. I'm not sure what we're going to do with those because we're pretty much planted out at this point, but we'll probably share with some friends and neighbors. And I do have a few figs on the side of the house over here, but not too much to see. So that's about it. Just wanted to give everybody a quick update how quickly Mother Nature has recovered here. It's supposed to get a little bit cooler, I think, next week, but this warm spell for a week has really put on a lot of growth and done wonders for the trees that are outside. So I won't say we're back on track, but it may have saved the season getting that warm spell. So we're getting a little bit of growth started and getting those figs kicked into high gear. It'll certainly help. I hope everybody else is having some nice weather too. I'm PA Figs. Talk to you guys later.